And in our top business story, private wealth in the UAE is projected to post a compound annual growth rate of 10.7% to reach an estimated $1 trillion in 2019. That's according to a report released by the Boston Consulting Group, or BCG. The study also revealed that private financial wealth in the UAE grew by 8.4% in 2014, driven mainly by equities. Over the next 5 years, total private wealth globally is projected to post a compound annual growth rate of 6% to reach an estimated $222 trillion in 2019. In the UAE, the amount of wealth held in equities rose by 13.8% between 2013 and 14, compared with 1.6% for bonds and 6.9% for cash and deposits. The UAE is poised for further growth in the next 5 years, with the wealth breakdown anticipated to be 43% in cash and deposits, 9% in bonds and 47% in equities. The Global Wealth 2015 report, BCG's 15th annual study of the global wealth management industry, said over the next 5 years across the UAE, private wealth held in equities is expected to increase at a compound annual growth rate of 18.5%. In parallel, bonds as well as cash and deposits will grow by 3.8% and 6.2% respectively. Looking regionally, private wealth in the MENA region increased by more than 9% to reach nearly $6 trillion in 2014. With a projected compound annual growth rate of 9%, the region's private wealth will rise to an estimated $9 trillion in 2019, with the UAE at $1 trillion and Saudi Arabia at $2 trillion as the largest markets. Abu Dhabi tourism chiefs have raised their annual visitor target by more than 11% to 3.9 million, after a sharp rise in the number of Chinese arrivals and staycationers from other Emirates. Guest arrivals increased 20% in the first 4 months of the year, according to the Abu Dhabi Tourism and Culture Authority. About 1.3 million guests checked into the Emirates' 161 hotels and hotel apartments over the period, and they stayed for 2.84 nights on average, a rise of 11% year-on-year. The previous target of 3.5 million guests was announced earlier this year. Domestic tourism accounted for the biggest share, with 44% of the total. Guests from other Emirates stayed for an average of 2.27 nights, a rise of 20% year-on-year. Hotel occupancy was at 79% and revenues grew 12% to 2.431 billion dirhams. Room revenues increased by 16%, while food and beverage sales grew by 3%. The figures also revealed that the largest source markets were the UK, India, China, Germany and the US. Arrivals from the UK gained 17%, followed by India, which recorded 16% growth, while visitors from China surged 75%. Tall building specialist Adrian Smith plus Gordon Gill Architecture, or AS plus GG, has been chosen by the master developer of the Jumeirah Lakes Towers district to design the Burj 2020 tower, which is set to be the world's tallest commercial tower. AS plus GG has also designed Saudi Arabia's Kingdom Tower, the 1-kilometer-high tower being built by Jeddah Economic Company that is set to be the world's tallest when it completes in 2019. Its founders also worked on the design of Dubai's Burj Khalifa while based at Chicago practice Skidmore, Owings plus Merrill. JLT's master developer DMCC has also appointed WATG to create the master plan for the surrounding Burj 2020 district. It has worked on projects including Atlantis The Palm and Abu Dhabi's Emirates Palace, as well as the Grand Hyatt in Kuala Lumpur. The height of Burj 2020 is yet to be revealed. Dubai-based GEMS Education saw its revenue grow by 20% in the year through to March, helped by rising fees and pupil numbers. GEMS, which operates more than 50 schools across 19 countries in the Middle East, North America, Europe, Asia and Africa, earned $674.8 million in revenue in the year through March, up 20% on the previous year's figures of $559.6 million. According to a local report, GEMS said its revenue increase was down to improvement enrollment numbers, which rose by nearly 9% to 98,000 and improved annual revenue per pupil. Dubai's Fajr Capital led a group including Blackstone and Bahrain sovereign fund Mumtalakat in acquiring a significant minority stake in GEMS Education in October last year.